So scientists have found a group of people they call the X group, the haplo group. They did a study and they're trying to trace back all the lineages all the way across the Bering Strait thousands of years ago. They took all the DNA, they took a bunch of DNA from all the indigenous American Indian tribes. They took the DNA from the European people, Middle Eastern people, all over, and to trace back their lineages, right? All the way back. They had haplogroup A, B, C, D. I think there's 4 groups. There's 4 groups. And they were able to, they was getting everybody, finding out that this group was related to this group, so they was able to connect everybody and how they all came from Bering Strait. But then they found 2.5% of all those people, thousands of people that they got DNA from, had no connection whatsoever to any of the other people, any other groups, because they all fell into one of those 4 groups in connection with their DNA and everything. They found DNA that matched none of these groups, and they didn't know what to do. This is facts, okay? This is facts. They had no other option but to call it the X group, the haplogroup, and because the other 4 were called haplogroups, you know. They didn't know what to do, so they started trying to research and find out where this DNA came from. So that 2.5% all were connected together, though, because they'd had the DNA from, some of these people came from Middle East, some of these people came from Northern Europe or European, some of them came from American indigenous people, from all over the world, okay? From all over the world, 2.5% of the people were absolutely different than the rest of everybody on this planet. But they were of all different nationalities, different connections. They was like, uh-oh, we don't know what to do. They still don't know where these people came from. They don't know where the DNA came from. They don't know how, they cannot track it back to the Bering Strait. So they've come up with this conclusion. Straight up came up with the conclusion that these people, this DNA that they have in them, doesn't come from this planet. This is not me just making this up. They're saying it. They're just not saying it. It's in the information. You gotta go look for it, find it. Now, the History Channel talks about it, and they admit the scientists have no clue. When you've got scientists from Harvard, from the biggest universities, some of the most intelligent minds, after all the research and the DNA and all that, they still don't know what the heck's going on, because they can research people all the way back to the Ice Age, but they can't figure out where these people came from. Then they started connecting the dots. Wait a minute. These same group of people have DNA from something the Smithsonian has. So they started figuring something out. Well, there is a lost civilization, they said, that mentions in the Bible. And they said it, they straight out said it. I didn't say it. They said Nephilim and the Watchers. They just come out and say it because they've done everything in their power to come up with where this came from, this DNA came from, where these people came from. And it's the DNA, okay? Listen, it's the DNA. It's not the people that just got planted here. It's DNA that was injected or bred or something, hybrids into 2.5% of the population. So they've come up with, it's got to be the Nephilim. It's got to be that group of people, because that's the only group of people that they have documentation from, carbon dated copies of records stating that this being, these entities, these creations of humans and fallen watchers existed. So then they started doing more research about, went back to find where was something found. They want evidence. They want archaeological evidence. And then they found, Smithsonian, they busted the Smithsonian. No, this is on Ancient Aliens. They even come out and they went and got the records themselves. And they're just like, not happy that Smithsonian hid this from people for so long. Smithsonian dug up in West Virginia, Charleston, West Virginia, 10 Nephilim giant bone bodies. They measured them. 8 feet tall. 8 feet tall. Measure 8 feet tall. Imagine a human being 8 feet tall that's healthy and strong and stuff. Imagine what they can lift and what they can do. And they're wondering how people did the movement of stones and stuff. Well, these are considered small in comparison to how big they believe that they were, but because of the DNA being diluted, they kind of got smaller, but they still had DNA in them, Nephilim DNA. They found 10 of these bodies, full skeletal bodies. They hid them. They hid them from the American people. The information's out there now. This isn't the only place they found them. They found some in Springfield, Ohio. Go figure, the place where they swear the dogs and cats are being eaten. Who knows? You have no idea. I'm telling you, there's no coincidence in the stuff that's going on our planet right now. They found these giant Nephilim bones all over the planet. It's all over the planet. Now you can't deny it because the truth is out there. So they got all that information, and they truly believe, they have come to their conclusion, this is what that 2.5 population, that DNA that they cannot connect to anything else, is those people, those things, those creation, whatever. Okay. Now they go even further and go, okay, here's another odd thing, because they scientists are intelligent. They love to figure things out. I mean, they're OCD. I work with a bunch of them. I love to do research. I'm OCD. I will keep digging and trying to connect the dots until you come up with, wait a minute, this. There's no coincidences. Then they go to the region of Basque. It's an area between mountains between France and Spain. Mountains. Okay, and it's a big area. Small little town, but it's a big area. Mountains and stuff where things can hide. Nephilim can hide between France and Spain, where some of these people that they found, the DNA did not make any sense. It's here. 35% of the population of Basque, just of that population, the heritage of those people there, not people that came from other places and came over there, but people that were originated from there, 35% of them have Rh negative blood. That's a lot. That's almost half that have Rh negative blood. When you take into consideration only 15% of the whole world population has that, there's something going on here in Basque. Okay? Then they found out that those people are a lot of those people that are part of the 2.5 population of DNA they can't make no sense of. So they're saying, well, this doesn't make any sense. And they started doing more research, find out, the Rh negative people have lower than normal blood pressure, lower than normal heart rate, and a lot of them have an extra vertebrae in their back. Where did that come from? They're doing research right now. They've got multiple programs in the government where they're doing research trying to figure this out, because they are absolutely they're wanting to find where this came from. I know they know where it comes. They know where it comes from. They already busted it out there. Nephilim, fallen angels, and by means of you having this does not make you not able to be born again, saved, or go to heaven. That's just a DNA thing. Now the scientists they've done everything they could to figure out where these people come from. So they said, well, the Rh negative, where'd the Rh negative come from? They can't find out where that came from. No way, no how. They've tried. Okay, they said this Rh negative hadn't even come into existence. None of this until the colonization. It couldn't have been until the colonization of America. So the scientists go, so they came from somewhere. So they started going outside of America and looking around and trying to connect way in the past. There was never, they took the DNA of these people. There's no connection to any of them come from Middle East, any of them coming from any other country but Northern Europe. So the Rh negative people, aside from the 2.5% of the people with DNA that they can't figure out came from, and now that population they can be blue. It doesn't matter what your color of your eyes are. It doesn't matter what your Rh negative factor is, whether it's positive or negative. You can be either or. None of that matters, because they got the DNA from all nationalities and all manner of people.